The origins of the Officio Assassinorum can be traced back to the early days of the Great Crusade. Under the call of the Emperor's faithful servant, Malcador the Sigilliate, a group of masters in the arts of stealth and assassination were brought together. In the centuries that followed, these phantoms of the dark hunted the Emperor's enemies from the shadows. These elite killers developed 6 unique disciplines, representing the 6 assassin temples: the Vindicare, masters of long-range precision sniping; the Calidus, polymorphic infiltrators who shift their appearance at will; the Culexus, soulless pariahs who hunt psychers; the Eversor, hyper-augmented berserkers fueled by combat drugs to match the fury of a space marine; the Venom, experts in untraceable toxins and subtle lethal plots; and the Vanus, masters of information warfare and data manipulation. Through these temples, the enemies of the Imperium felt the direct wrath of the Emperor's judgment. The leader of this shadow organization, the Grand Master of Assassins, is selected from the most exceptional members of these branches. In the 32nd millennium, the 12th Grand Master of Assassins was Drakan Vangorich, originally an operative of the Venom Temple. Vangorich had long been disgusted by the political maneuvering of the High Lords, but he initially lacked a reason to shatter the established order through assassination. However, the outbreak of the War of the Beast exposed the utter incompetence of the Council of 12. When the Astartes of the Last Wall and the Primarch Vulcan arrived on Terra, Vangorich hoped these demigods would seize control and reshape the government. Instead, the Primarch followed the Emperor's ancient decree and left the ruling power in the hands of mortals. After the Third Ullanor Crusade killed a beast, providing the Imperium a reprieve, Lord Commander Maximus Thane ordered a 4th founding of Astartes chapters and departed on a new crusade to liberate the galaxy, leaving Vangorich to oversee the reconstruction of Terra as the Lord Protector. Initially, reconstruction efforts progressed well, and Vangorich believed he could continue to coerce the High Lords into efficiency. However, a shocking act of treason changed everything.
Despite Thane's direct order to perform exterminatus on the orc homeworld of Ullanor, the Adeptus Mechanicus secretly used teleportation technology to move the entire planet to the Armageddon system so they could continue studying orc tech. This betrayal convinced Vangorich that the High Lords would never truly fulfill their duties. They would always prioritize their own interests over the survival of the human race. In an age of darkness, Vangorich believed humanity needed a true king, whose word was absolute law. Since the demigods of the Astartes refused the burden, he decided he would take it himself for the sake of the species. Vangorich's reform began with the Beheading. In a single day, his operatives executed every other High Lord. The representatives of the Astronocanon and the Scholastica Psychona were eliminated by a Culexus. The Navigator Envoy was murdered by his own cousin, who had defected to Vangorich, and the Merchant Representative was convinced to commit suicide by an assassin mole. Vangorich himself led an Eversor strike to Mars to kill the treacherous Fabricator General Kubik. Even the mysterious Inquisitor Veritus was poisoned. Before his death, Veritus revealed his true identity. He was Kyril Sindermann, the Chief Remembrancer of the 63rd Expeditionary Fleet, who had witnessed the start of the Horus Heresy. Sindermann had seen the imperial truth fail and realized that the only way to save humanity was to turn the Emperor into a god, a psychic shield for the human soul. Before dying, he entrusted the future of the Inquisition to Inquisitor Marguerite Wienen, formalizing the split into the Ordo Malleus, demon hunters, and the Ordo Xenos, alien hunters. For 80 years, Vangorich ruled the Imperium alone. Using puppets to fill the seats of the Council, he governed with cold, iron-fisted efficiency. Reconstruction flourished, and the 4th founding proceeded under his watchful eye. However, the mental strain of coordinating a million worlds ultimately shattered his sanity. Vangorich became a paranoid, neurotically violent tyrant, seeing traitors in every shadow. Seeing that the man they left in charge had become a monster, Lord Commander Thane returned to Terra with 400 Space Marines. They laid siege to the Vindicare Temple in the North Pole, where Vangorich was guarded by 100 Eversor assassins.
In a battle of horrific intensity, every single one of the 400 Space Marines was killed, leaving only Thane to deliver the final blow to the mad Grandmaster. Thane's victory brought no peace of mind, as he carried his own heavy secret. During the war, a contingent of his original chapter, the Fists Exemplar, had defected to the Iron Warriors after finding more brotherhood in the traitors than in the corrupt High Lords. Burdened by this shame and the tragedy of the beheading, Thane officially erased the Fists Exemplar from history and left Terra to resume the Eternal Crusades. Terra fell into anarchy until Agathon of the Ultramarines arrived with 50 chapters to restore order. The Council of High Lords was reinstated, with a permanent change. The position of Lord Commander was abolished to prevent such absolute power from ever resting in one mortal's hands again, and the Captain General of the Adeptus Custodes was given a permanent seat. Thus ended the War of the Beast. Though the Imperium remained a regressive and decaying regime, the hundreds of chapters from the new foundings ensured humanity would struggle on for 10 millennia more. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.